Welcome to Binge Breakthrough, the podcast designed to help you finally break through the barriers that keep you stuck feeling out of control around food. I'm Master Certified Coach Jane Pilger, and I want you to know that no matter how long you've been struggling or what you've tried, food freedom is possible, and I'm here to show you how. After years of therapy, eating disorders treatment, restrictive diets, and reading all the books, I was still stuck in the on-again, off-again cycle of restricting and binging until I was able to see it all from a new perspective that changed everything. Each week, I will share the strategies, tools, and mindset that allowed me to overcome my decades-long battle with binge eating. Your journey to body trust starts now. Let's dive in. Hello, trusted listener. Welcome to Binge Breakthrough. This month, we are continuing to celebrate 100 episodes of the Binge Breakthrough podcast. And I consider you a trusted listener because I trust that you are here for a reason. I trust that you are going to hear something that is insightful and impactful on your journey with food. So as we celebrate 100 episodes in this 10th month of 2024, we've got a theme of tens going on, both here on the podcast as well as over at the Peaceful Eater newsletter on Substack. And today I'm going to talk about 10 things that I wish I knew when I was struggling with binge eating. And not only, I do want to focus on the binge eating, but I also want to just focus on overall what I would tell my younger self. So this is my younger self even before the binge eating began, and also myself when I was struggling with binge eating, because I think it really does all go together and it all matters. So here are the 10 things that I wish I knew. Number 1. This is really what I would tell myself. You are capable of more than you know in all aspects of life. When I look back and I reflect on what I have done, what I have overcome, the various things that have happened in life, there's no way that I realized that I was capable of that. And especially when I think about all of the years, the decades, the 25 plus years that I struggled with binge eating, I did not believe that I was capable of overcoming binge eating. But I am capable of more than I know, and you are capable of more than you know too. And I would love to be able to tell my younger self that and let her truly let that sink in and believe it. So as you are listening to this, I would love for you to let it sink in and truly believe that you are capable of more than you know, especially when it comes to healing your relationship with food. Number 2, your worth is inherent and unchanging. I would love to tell my younger self, nothing that you do, nothing that you eat, nothing can make you any more or any less worthy. You are worthy, period. We don't get that message. We get the message that our worth is based on our size. It's based on our accomplishments. It's based on our bank account. It's based on where we live or who we are in relationship with. This is not true. Your worth is inherent and unchanging. Nothing you do or eat can make you any more or less worthy. Number 3, you have always been more than good enough, and you always will be, regardless of your eating habits or the size or shape of your body. You have always been more than good enough. My younger self very much had a not good enough theme. And I find this to be very common with people who struggle with binge eating. There's this pendulum that swings between not enough and too much. I'm not good enough. What I have done isn't enough. What I have isn't enough. And then we swing to the other side of too much. We might even think I'm too much. My emotions are too much. And what do? We also swing on that same pendulum between don't eat too much, not enough feeding of ourselves, and then eating too much. It's the pendulum of not enough and too much. And it comes from this idea that we are not enough. We are not good enough. So I would love for my younger self to know, I would love for you to know, you have always been more than good enough, and you always will be, regardless of what you eat, regardless of what your body looks like. Number 4, your emotions and your sensitivity are your superpower, not a weakness to be numbed with food. I didn't even realize I had emotions or that I was sensitive. I didn't even realize that was a thing when I was young. So I would love to tell my younger self about the power of emotions, the gift of emotions, the gift of being a sensitive person in this world, and how to use these things, how to use emotions, how to let the emotions work for you, and the sensitivity, how to navigate this world. It's not a weakness. It's a superpower. Number 5, food is not the enemy or the solution. Food is amazing, for sure, but it's not the enemy and it's not the solution. It's nourishment. Sometimes it's comfort, but it's not a substitute for emotional healing. Number 6, your body is your best friend and your fiercest protector. Learn to listen to it and honor its wisdom. I did not know or believe that my body was my best friend, that my body was trying to protect me, that my body always had my best interests at heart. I did not know this. I did not understand this. I thought that my body was betraying me. I thought that my body was an enemy, something to be controlled, something to be changed, something to be fixed, that it was broken. It was not good enough. When I think about the relationship that I had with my best friend growing up and the relationship that I have with my best friend now, I did not think about my body as my best friend. But it really is. And it is your fiercest protector. So can you learn to return the favor, to be a best friend to your body, to fiercely protect your body? Your body is constantly, fiercely protecting you. What if you returned the favor and you saw your body as your best friend, as your fiercest protector? The relationship you have, the longest relationship you will have in your life is your relationship with your body. So learn to listen to it. Learn to communicate with it. Learn to honor its wisdom. Learn that it does have wisdom and it is always communicating with you. Number 7, follow your joy in everything, in all aspects of life. Follow your joy. Now, this goes for everything. And as we are talking about food, we're talking about binge eating, follow your joy also when it comes to what you eat. Pleasure and satisfaction are crucial parts of a peaceful relationship with eating. Now, the other thing is, how much joy do you have in other areas of your life? I know that for me, in my deepest and darkest moments with food, there wasn't a lot of joy outside of food. In the other areas of my life, I was not cultivating joy. I was not cultivating pleasure and satisfaction in the rest of my life. So then I was trying to get it with food, but I was also not allowing myself to eat the things I really loved. So the only way that I got those foods was when I was binging, because otherwise I did not allow myself to eat those. So I did not have permission for pleasure and satisfaction and joy in a lot of other areas of my life. I was so focused on trying to do and achieve, and all of those other areas was my focus. So follow your joy. I would love to tell myself that. And I do tell myself that now regularly. All right, number 8. When you admire something in someone, find it in yourself. You may not realize this, but think about somebody that you admire. Whoever comes to your mind, the very first person that comes to your mind when I just mentioned that, who is someone that you admire? What is it that you admire about them? What is it about them that you admire? Now, can you find that in yourself? So for example, a person that I admire is my father. My dad he's a very wise man. He is very thoughtful. He is, when I think about the things that I admire about him, he's smart. He comes up with a lot of ideas. He is, he's always thinking about kind of how to address certain things or how to solve problems. And then I think about it, then now find it in yourself. Oh, yes, a lot of the qualities that I admire in my father, I can actually find in myself. Oh, yeah. You know what? I do that. I am always thinking about ways to talk about binge eating, ways to work with my clients, ways to really connect with yourself, to connect with your body, to work with your nervous system. I'm always thinking about new ways to talk about it, new ways to approach things. Always thinking about how can I work on this with my clients? How can I work on this with myself? So think about this for yourself. Who is it that you admire? What is it that you admire, and can you find it in yourself? A lot of times we look at something and we say, oh, they're so smart. I wish I had that. Not really realizing when you admire something, you do have it in yourself. This also includes a healthy relationship with food and body. So if there is somebody that has a relationship with food that you really admire, take a look at it. What is it about their relationship with food or with their body that I admire? And how can I find even a little tiny piece of that in myself? I promise you that it's there. Now, number 9 is similar. When you dislike something in someone, find it in yourself. I can think about 2 things in particular that I know kind of grate on my nerves a little bit. One is when somebody interrupts me, I get a little I dislike it. And then I notice, oh, look at that. I sometimes end up interrupting other people. And I can see it when it happens. It's like I almost it's not that I don't want to let them finish, but it's that I'm like coming up with an answer before they're even finished. And I think, oh, I can totally see that in myself. Sometimes, another thing that kind of, can kind of grate on me is when somebody, maybe they think they know the answer, or maybe it might come across as like, kind of almost judgy. Like, I know the answer. I'm right. You're wrong type of thing. I can see in myself. I can explore that in myself with compassion, with curiosity. And when you can do that, when you can see, you might hear this. I've often heard this as called like looking in the mirror. So when something happens or somebody does something, there's a particular something that you dislike, can you then look in the mirror and find that in yourself? If you can do this with curiosity, with compassion, it shows you your own areas where you have to learn and to grow. And then you're focusing on yourself. And as I focus on myself, then what often happens is as I work on my own tendency to judge or my own tendency to maybe interrupt somebody, then as I work on it for myself, those same qualities in other people won't be as irritating to me. All right, number 10, your heart will always lead the way. I so often was looking outside of myself for guidance, for answers, whether it was about what to eat, whether or when to eat or how much to eat, or whether it was about what to study, what to do for a career, what to do in business, what to wear, any of those things. I was looking to the outside. But all of your answers are inside. Your inner voice is so powerful. It will guide the way. It knows you better than any outside person or expert or guru. Your inner voice. But in order to do this, to connect with your heart, is you need to learn to distinguish between your mind and your heart, or your intuition, your inner voice. There is a distinction between the two. So it's often the mind that is loud, that is racing, that has a lot of different opinions, that may sound a lot like other people or other advice that you've heard. What we want to learn how to do is to tune into your heart, to your inner wisdom, to your intuition. It is soft. It is not loud. It is soft and gentle and knowing. This is what will lead the way. Now, your heart may lead you to other people who can guide you. This doesn't mean you have to do it all alone, but it means that you don't ever want to go against your own internal wisdom, because that's where all of your guidance is. All right, the 10 things I wish I knew when I was struggling with binge eating. The 10 things I would love to tell my younger self. And the 10 things I want you to know are this. You are capable of more than you know. Your worth is inherent and unchanging. Nothing you do or eat can make you any more or less worthy. You have always been more than good enough, and you always will be, regardless of your eating habits, your body size, or anything else. Your emotions and your sensitivity are your superpower, not a weakness to be numbed with food. Food is not the enemy or the solution. Your body is your best friend and your fiercest protector. Follow your joy. When you admire something in someone, find it in yourself. When you dislike something in someone, find it in yourself. And the last one, your heart will always lead the way. I hope you have heard something today that is insightful, impactful, something that you want to take with you. I would love to hear from you. What do you wish you could tell your younger self? I would love to hear that if you want to share it with me. And if you are listening to this podcast live as it comes out in October of 2024, there is a chance for you to win $100. I'm doing a giveaway, $100 in 2 separate giveaways. All you have to do is submit a review for the podcast or send me a question that you would love to have answered on the podcast. Submit those by October 31st, and you will be entered into the drawings for $100. All right, there is a link in the show notes for you to submit that, and I will see you next week where we will continue our theme of tense. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, you will want to be sure to follow me on Substack. There, you'll find additional articles, discussion, and a library of all of the podcast episodes to help you on your journey with food. You can also access deep dive workshops and get behind the scenes audio and video that will help you understand and overcome your food struggles. Find me under The Peaceful Eater at janepilger.substack.com. I'll see you there.